Hello everyone, sorry it took me so long to get on here today, but it has been a mess today. It's been one of those days again where everything in the world could go wrong has went wrong. If you're not part of the channel, share, subscribe, like these videos. We appreciate having each and every one of you here. We really do. We created this channel for you so you could have a place to go to, and because we know not many people are listening to us in the last days, and you all contribute quite a bit to this channel and its reach. I have really good news out of all the crazy stuff that's actually happened today. But our good friend Stephen is back. He had a head injury and lost his phone. God bless him. Stephen, if you can put up a link somewhere and we can donate to you. Whatever we can do for you. But both Stevens are out. They had met up with a Satanist the other day. He was letting me know there in Britain, and this guy basically, they turned him around. And he had them pray for him. So always keep the Stevens there in Britain in your prayers, because they are doing great work. Our friend Stephen, he's been down for a while, but he's back. He's recovered. He's getting out there. Like I said, he had an injury. So thank God we've got them back on the streets, because they're very important to us there on the streets of Britain. Because tomorrow's a big day. They crown Prince Charles. We don't know exactly what's going to happen with all that. But we know that something's up with it for sure. We know it plays a part here in the last days. We're just not sure. Some people think he's the Antichrist. Some people don't, but some people do. We really don't know, like I said. But what we do know is that I believe it will play a role in all this stuff that's happening. And another big piece of news that come out is that Britain has only 24 hours left of ammunition to their names. This is not good, people. That means NATO has thrown everything they have into this Ukrainian war, and they're dwindling their supplies. And we all know for a fact that World War III is right around the corner. Now, we won't be here to see it, thank God, that the church will be raptured out of here before this happens. But this, I'm telling you, I do believe with all the ammunition that's being used and used up and everything, that's why it does end up being a nuclear war. I think that's why it happens. Now stay with me and I'm going to explain myself to you. Why I do believe this contributes to it. When it does happen, and it does happen, Russia does take all of eastern Ukraine. I already know, I've already seen it, others have too. So when this happens, they're going to only have one way to defend themselves when it happens. And you know what that is. That's how this all comes about here and months after we leave. So now you'll probably, that's going to give you a little bit of insight of what's happening and why it happens. And it will happen. There's nothing we can do to stop it. We just know it's going to happen. Now, I've had a lot of reports about people buying me coffee. Now, I'm telling you, since I got off work, I've had to deal with this. This is a little bit of a problem. I don't know what's happened, but what I think's happened is that somebody turned me in on the Buy Me Coffee link. I think what they've said or done is that the YouTube channel wasn't real or something, that it was just a link out there in cyberspace somewhere. I don't know what's happened. But Buy Me Coffee sent me a thing to do confirmation that the account is real. I think I sent them all the information they needed. But Ken, God bless you. You know who you are. I don't know if you want me to say your last name, but he made a really good donation to the channel. God bless him. And maybe that if somebody saw that, I don't know, and they turned it in. But I'm going to tell Ken and Miss Bonnie, there's a lot of other people that helps with the channel. If something is weird, I've made it clear to them that the money would go back to the people in case something would go wrong. So it would be, if you see that in about 5 days, your money comes back, the channel will be fixed again, and then you can redonate the money that way if you choose to do so. But I think everything will be lined out. Just pray that it will. It's just the devil, people. He's fought me on every inch of everything with what we're doing. I mean, literally. But God bless you, Ken, and the others. There's many others that donated. God bless each and every one of you. You know who you are, and God knows who you are. You support the channel and support me, and I appreciate it. Those with also the super stickers and everything else. You're just managing to keep me afloat when I run into a lot of problems and everything else. So God bless you all. Because really, somebody asked me the other day, so, you know, do you have any other support? I'm like, really, no, it's just me. I don't have no family or anything like that. I mean, most of my family, and the family I do have left, they pretty much are got their own issues, and they don't have anything coming in. So basically, I am on my own when it comes to this stuff. So if I do get any support, it comes from God himself and from you guys. I mean, that's it. Like I said, I didn't start the channel for that reason, and I don't ever ask for it. I always thank you guys for it. But that's not why we started the channel, but God bless the ones who do. They help me support the Jews and help, because that's the one thing I've always done, was manage to try to donate to the Jews as much as I can. Even the limited amount of funds I do have, I've tried to always make sure that the Jews, the elderly Jews that are being brought out of Russia and these other places, have money and medicine and food once they come back to Israel, because I just think that's a very important cause. And that's just something that I've always tried to spread. And you don't even have to deal with me personally. I put that in the description box. It's called the Fellowship of the Jews. It's a great program. The money does go to these people. They also take your prayers to the Wailing Wall. All kind of stuff. And I've dealt with them for years. Really good people. Really good organization. So, with Prince Charles and all that deal, that happens tomorrow. A lot of people are looking at that date, that it's important. And it could possibly be. We do know, like I've told you, on the 20th of April, that eclipse, what God was telling me, was ushering in the Antichrist. That he become known to what he is on the 20th. So we know that's taken place. Brother Danny on Facebook, he sends me a lot of information. God bless Danny. And I let Danny know, he's like, Chris, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even know the buy me coffee thing was down. He said, Chris, I can't donate. I don't know what's going on. So I went on to check to see what was wrong, and they shut the count down. So, thank you, Danny. But Danny was sending me information about all the tornadoes that touched down in California once again. And this morning, I know when I woke up, there was many more earthquakes. 2 in Japan, 1 in China. And it's just, people, it's just one thing after another. And me and Bonnie McCoy talked about this last night, about the birth pains just on top of each other. Now, Jesus told us about these days and what they would be like. That's what we go by. And we notice that all these birth pains are growing and growing and growing to the point it's going to erupt. And I think that that's why the rapture is so close. And I noticed last night for some reason, and I've had other people ask me this in the messages, that for some reason I was watching a video last night, and this is usually how information comes to me. But I was Eric Strickland, and he does a lot of stuff for the Jews. He has a newscast. And I was watching that newscast, and all of a sudden, God laid it on me that Damascus was getting ready to fall. That something really bad was about to happen in Damascus. So we need to kind of watch that. Now, let me tell you something. If, let's just say that the next couple of days, something really bad happens in Damascus and it falls. That is straight prophecy. That could possibly wake up the church, a lot of the church that's actually asleep right now that we're not being able to communicate with. And a lot of your family members that was raised in churches and everything, they all know that something bad will happen to Damascus one day. If Damascus, we wake up tomorrow, Damascus would be destroyed by something, a bomb or whatever. This would wake up a lot of people that we've not been able to communicate with. So maybe that is a good sign that something like that would happen in Damascus, not on our own soil, but far, far away, that would wake up a lot of the church to the point of getting so many more other people saved. Because right now, people, we're really on our own here. There ain't many of us doing this. There ain't many of us really waiting for our Messiah to come out of that sky and get us. There's just not a lot of people that are eager to want to go home right now. There's just very few of us. God bless you guys here on the channel because if it wasn't for you guys, I mean, Lord, I would be alone in this. When I started out, I didn't even have Bonnie McCoy. When God told me on October the 24th, I was stunned for 2 days. I'm like, Lord, are you telling me that this is the end? And he's like, yes. Tell people I'm coming now. And I'm like, I was so stunned for 2 days, and then I started telling Bonnie McCoy this information. And even she was like, oh, Chris, are you sure? I'm like, and then I started running down everything God had told me. And you got to think, at this time, I was plumb ignorant to a lot of things. Let me tell you something. At this time, I did not know the Bible half as well as I do now. I was plumb ignorant. I made every excuse, just like everybody else does. I can't understand it. I don't know how. And God said, no, you're lazy. You're going to have to get on her, and I'll show you what to go. So it was so funny. I started taking crash courses in reading the Bible. I really did. I had to make up for a lot of lost time because I could not start this channel until I knew the basics of the rapture and stuff like that, because at that time I was not sure. So and every time Bonnie would contact me, she's like, what have you done? I'm going down God's greatest hits. Basically, that's what was happening. I was having to go in and relearn everything from scratch. Then once I learned about the rapture, everything, that it was all there, it's all scripture, I didn't look back from that. Now nobody can convince me otherwise because I've read it, I know it, and I've studied it. And then I started studying other prophecies, and then I started learning, like everybody thought this was funny yesterday, but when I first found out about Shemitah cycles, I thought that was a Swedish bicycle. I didn't know what these things was. I didn't realize that Jesus works in Shemitah cycles. I had no clue. But once I figured out, and I had to go in and learn a lot of the Jewish customs, because I was always taught from the time I was very young by my grandmother and my mother that everything goes through Israel. And it does. Everything. Everything, the tribulation, all of it is for them and the non-believers. It's not for the church. That's why it's a lie that the church, these people tell you that the church has to go through the tribulation. It's a lie. It's only for non-believers, and it's for the Jews to accept the Messiah. And they will this time. So, after I started learning all this stuff, learning star patterns, which I always thought was forbidden, and it's not. There's 2 different types of studies of stars. One, we all know. That is the basics of science, that they're there, what they are, and the other one is horoscope stuff. That's the one that the devil put in place to keep you away from the other one. See, everything that God does, Satan has a offshoot of it. Everything. Okay, for instance, Jesus died on the cross for your sins. He died for 3 days. He was in the ground 3 days, 3 nights, and then he rose and went home. The Antichrist will be the same way. He will die for 3 days and then rise again. I mean, all this stuff, he mimics everything God does. Everything Jesus did, Satan mimics. Because, see, Satan wants to destroy you because you're God's people. You're his children. He hates you. These people who worship him and these Satan cons, it just shows their ignorance. Because Satan wants them all to die. And they're too ignorant to even know it. But they're going to find out the hard way. Now, something else happened yesterday. Something very unique. Now, if you all, I don't know which ones of you listened to the program yesterday in the evening, and I will be doing another video this evening. I'm going to literally try to mimic the whole situation of how I did the video yesterday. So y'all going to have to bear with me in the second video. But we found something in the video. It was pretty shocking. But last night, Bonnie McCoy sent me a message, said, Chris, you got to watch the video again. I'm like, okay, what did I do? How did I mess it up? And I started going in, and I saw there was a beam of light that comes from the trees straight to where I am. Now, we can say that's glare and everything else. Yada, yada, yada. But trust me, I've got pictures that proves that there's something else going on. Well, I went in and started screenshotting these one at a time through these pictures. And what I did is when I would touch the screen, while the video's playing, I would zoom in on the beam of light. And I noticed a face started to appear. And it started to appear right before the end of the video. And when I played it, when I actually went back and checked the pictures, it was Jesus in the light. It looked just like him in the shroud. I know if you all want to Google that, Google Jesus in the shroud, his imprint on the shroud, it looks just like it. You can see his face, his nose. Actually, you can see the crown above his head. But it's there. Not only did that appear, before his face appears, my face appears as a younger person. It looks like I am about 24, 25. It's me. There's no denying it's me. When I looked at it, I'm like, oh my goodness, it's me. Now, I contacted Bonnie again. I know she probably got tired. I probably kept her up last night. God bless her and Bonnie Reed. I probably get on both their nerves. But when I looked at the picture, I knew it was me. And it kind of freaked me out. I ain't going to lie. It really freaked me out. It was me. And I contacted Bonnie McCoy. And I said, listen, I'm not going to tell you who this is. But I found this too. And I showed her. She said, Chris, that's you. I'm like, oh, at least I'm not crazy. But it was me. But it was me at maybe 24, 25. But it's a picture of me. It's my face in that light. So I found Jesus. And there's Lord only knows what else is there. I haven't really went through it. I'm going to go through it and bring it up on the main computer, and I'm going to leave it for you guys on the community page, okay? And let you guys go through it too. Because I'm going to probably need a group effort, so I know that I'm just not crazy. I know you guys are really good at this. You all have done this forever, and I trust every one of you on this channel. God bless each and every one of you. You're my family. So I'm going to leave them out. So I'm going to post them on the community page. I'm going to post them raw. So you all can just take them off of there, and maybe you all can find more than what I found. And I did find some other scary images in there too. I don't know what they are, and I could be like losing my mind. I don't know, but I'm telling you, Jesus' face does appear just like it did on the shroud. It's there. It's quite amazing. I will go ahead and post those tonight on the community page just for you all to see it, and the picture of me, because it's just so rare. And at first, I'm telling you, it just freaked me out that it was there. And we do see other faces. We don't know who they are. But it's like they was looking through the light. And I asked Bonnie, I said, is it possible we was seeing through the veil at one point? Now, I don't know how you all believe in that. I mean, I've never heard of anything like that, but I'm just wondering if it was even possible that we was kind of looking through the veil through that light. But it's like Jesus' presence was there in that second video that I did last night about the rapture and what's to come after the rapture happens. It was like he was leaving his imprint on it. Now, when I filmed it, there was no light, people. It was closer to the nighttime. There was no beam of light. It was not there when I recorded. I promise you, I would not make this up. It was not there. But tonight, I'm going to try to mimic that again and see if we can recreate it and see if it was just coincidence. So I'll really try to come up with a message for then. But you know, God bless each and every one of you. You know, you guys have been here through thick and thin. We're going on we've had the channel up now maybe 5 months, and you guys have been just absolutely, each and every one of you, a lot of you from different countries. You've sent emails, you do everything. I mean, you guys have just been absolutely, and I pray for each and every one of you. And don't forget to put your prayer request in the bottom, so we can pray for them day and night. We've already seen a lot of people are starting to see some kind of positive influence of these people we're praying for. Some of them are starting to turn, so it's working. And that's what's important. And that's why we do it. We don't do like other pages. I don't think I even know another channel that does this. But it was just, if it wasn't for Danny on Facebook, that's really what gave me the idea, because he was so worried about his mom and dad, and it was really bothering me. And I knew he needed help about praying for them. So what we started doing, I was like, okay, we're going to have to do a list. That's why I tell you to always pray with me day and night for these people. That's under the comments. I call them the list. God, and I say, God, you know who they are, each and every one of them, to open their eyes, to wake them up in these last days. So we all need to pray for that every day and every night, to pray for the list that we have here on this YouTube channel, that these people will get dreams and visions and wake up that they are at the end. And we are. Right now, Jesus is the door, people, and we got to get people on the boat, because they're running out of time. I'm telling you, the rainwater's coming, the storm's coming, We've got the boat built. Everybody's getting on that boat. Don't come off of it once you get on there. Keep your eyes upon, because Jesus told us when all these events start to take place, watch the sky, because your redemption's running nigh. So you've got to be ready. Jesus told us when these events all start taking place, keep your eye on the sky. And that's what we're doing. We're on the boat, keeping an eye on the sky. That's what's important right now. God bless each and every one of you. I love each and every one of you. Jesus loves you. He died on a cross to make sure that you could live forever. And people, heaven is so close to us right now that very soon, Lord only knows, but we'll probably all be together as a group up there. And I think that's why he brought us all together on this channel. I think we'll all live net close to each other. I think we're going to be building things for God. And I can't wait. And I can't wait to be with you all, especially we'll all be like 20 years old again, so it's going to be quite amazing. And we don't have to sleep. I mean, it's just amazing. We're so close. That's why I tell you, don't lose sight, don't lose faith. We're so close to getting out. And Satan is going to try to fight us, just like he did me to buy the coffees and stuff today. He's tried everything he can to fight us because we're praying for people and they're getting saved. He does not want us telling the world that the world's coming to an end. He wants everybody asleep, just like the church and all these other people. He wants them stupid and dumb. That he spent years trying to make this happen to where they would not know what's coming for them. Our job is to break them out of that stupor and pray them out if we have to. And thank each and every one of you for being on board, helping us do this in these last days. Like I said, you're so close to heaven. If you're lost out there, call upon Jesus in these last days. I know people say, Chris, it's not as simple as believing. It is as simple as believing, but when you believe in Jesus, you don't want to go back to going to bars, cussing every 2 seconds. You want to move forward. It's not about works, but when you work for Jesus, when you are truly saved by Jesus, you're wanting to go out there and wake people up. You're going to want to do things. You're not going to want to sit on your hind end and not do anything. You want to make sure your brothers and sisters are on board this boat and we're ready to get out of here, because that's our ministry. We're the Ark Ministries. We tell you to get on the boat and not come off of it, because we know the rainwater's coming, and people, once that door's shut, they're going to be knocking, trying to get in, but it's going to be too late. Thank each and every one of you for being here every single day. I know there's other things, other places you could be, and I appreciate all the work you are doing and the prayers you're praying. Don't ever think you're not important. If you're just out there every day praying for these people on this list, on this channel, you're doing your job. If you can't do this or do that, praying is always the best. Always the best. Pray for those. Pray, 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 pray. Prayer is the best thing. They see it in heaven. It goes across in heaven. Jesus sees every one of these prayers. So don't ever think you're not contributing. We're all contributing here on the Ark page. We're all doing it. If I don't see or hear from you again, I'll see you in heaven.